and welcome back to my channel, Torathena, where today I'm talking about Get Out because I have to talk about this. Get Out is one of the latest horror movies that has sparked so much debate and controversy, starring Daniel Kaluuya and Allison Williams, and it is just incredible. I'm going to put a bit of disclaimer in this. I'm going to talk incredibly bluntly about race and colour and the society that I'm from, at least, and I'm really sorry if this offends anyone, but I am going to talk as bluntly as possible because this film has made me want to discuss stuff like this. Also, I need to point out that there will be massive amount of spoilers, so please do not watch this if you have not seen the film. Once you see the film though, come back and discuss this with me because I need to explode. So yeah, back to the blunt honesty. I am from Liverpool, and in Liverpool there is quite a lot of mixed communities and racial backgrounds, and I have been brought up and a very liberal person. Very little offends me in the way of, if a man loves a man, that does not offend me, and if someone is not white, that does not offend me. Nothing like that has ever been a part of my life. I've never been prejudiced in that way, and I found it very sad when I saw this trailer come out because I was like, surely this isn't a thing that needs to happen, and surely this isn't a message, surely this is going to perpetuate a divide that we do not want to make or make wider. Because when you watch the trailer, it looks like, now I could be wrong here, but this was the impression I got. It looks like he's going to spend time with a racist family and horrible things are going to happen to him because he's not white. And that is true. To a point. It's so, this is why I'm saying, this is why the title of this video is Get Out is a Lie, or Get Out is a Trap or a Trick. I don't really know what I'm going to name it yet, but it's going to be something like that. And this is where the lie is. I thought we were going to watch something that was like a Wicker Man style racial video, and I was very excited to see it. I've heard great things about it. I thought it was a scary concept anyway, like Deliverance is a scary concept, and oh, I couldn't wait to go see it. But it was something so much more than that. When you go and watch the film, and which is so well acted out, every member of the cast was exceptionally picked. It took me forever to realise Daniel is from Black Mirror, which was one of my favourite episodes, so I was like, oh my god, and he's so good, and his accent is incredible. You'd never guess, in my opinion, that he wasn't English, that he wasn't American. The whole film honestly made me feel sick. Everything is so uncomfortable and cringy, and just everything always seems off. From the noises are, I honestly believe that they were heightened to be more awkward, uncomfortable, or natural. So even before she starts to hypnotize, she's scraping her spoon and tapping her spoon, and there's awkward silences and speeches are drawn out in an unnatural, uncomfortable way, and everything just is a little off, and you just feel so unsettled and uncomfortable the entire time. Jordan Peele, who is the writer and the director of this movie, did an amazing job for a lot of reasons. From making the suspense with nothing really happening throughout the entire film, to me being uncomfortable in this whole movie where very little actually happens. And then he makes a very clever move, in my opinion. Daniel gets kidnapped and hypnotized and sold effectively because they're going to do a brain transplant on him and put someone else's mind into his body, but they don't explain why. He goes, why do you do it to black people? And the blind man goes, who knows? And he kind of, at first you go throughout this entire film thinking that white people are targeting black people because they're racist. I think that was the premise I had in my head, that these were racist people making them into servants or something like that. I honestly believe he only answers with who knows because he doesn't want to give any answer, racial or not, because I don't think the horror film in itself is racial. And this is where the trap lies. I think The film was advertised to look like this extreme level of racism, so we can all watch it and think, oh well, that's okay because that doesn't happen in real life. We're not going to go and pick another ethnicity and just kidnap them and enslave them, because we don't do that anymore, and we can all sit in our little chairs and be all comfortable thinking that we're all still good people because slavery isn't a thing in our Western society anymore. But no, it's a trick, a perfect trick to get us to sit there for 90 minutes while Jordan Peele perfectly highlights and demonstrates everyday racism, more known as positive racism. And we had to sit there for 90 minutes and watch it repeat over and over and over again what Daniel has to go through, probably on a daily to weekly basis. And in that was the more horrifying thing to me. A typical horror film is something you can watch, turn off and walk away from. But this film made me think. This is the horror, what Daniel went through. From as little as someone pointing out, I would have voted for Obama the 3rd time if I could. What? Why do you need to point that out to Daniel? When the elderly man at the party shakes his hand and starts talking about golf, you think, because you're still in the mindset that this is like a racist fueled community, that you're thinking, oh, he's being really nice to her, it's a really nice thing, and then he goes, I met Tiger Woods, and you start cringing inside because you're like, why point that out? And you look back and you realise why they're doing it now. They're checking him out, they're vetting him, like feeling his muscles to feel if he's a strong body to mind transplant with, but they're using it with everyday positive racism. You think you're being nice, but you are still singling someone out because of their race, and therefore that is racism. And it's so fucking clever. I sat there, and by the 3rd or 4th slip of someone pointing out Tiger Woods, Obama, you know, pointing down there and go, is it true? Is he better in bed? You know, it's just, I was sick of it. After 90 minutes, after being in his shoes for 90 minutes, you already feel vulnerable with him as a person, but I have to admit, for the first time in my entire life, I only started to even comprehend how it must be to be a minority, although accepted, still has to fight these prejudices, positive or negative. And I felt awful at the end to even think, and I think the director did this on purpose. While he's on top of her and he's strangling her, and he can't do it because a part of him still loves her, the police show up, and a part of me thought, they're gonna believe her. And you could see it in his eyes as an actor portraying that I might be the one in trouble. And they even implant that slowly into your head, cleverly at the beginning, because the police officer asks to see his ID even though he wasn't driving first. And it just starts coming together and tying together in these very clever ways. And you felt sick, when he finally made it. And you, no matter what race you are, you start worrying for his safety as the police show up. What society do we live in where even that as a terrible and not completely true worry, but because not all policemen are bad, 99% of policemen are heroes, but because there is even that 1% that we even worry highlights just how much of a problem that is. And then it turns out it's his friend, and you all sigh with relief, and he's safe, and you're so happy that he's safe because he deserves to survive. It's horrible. It was a horrible film where everything constantly went wrong for him, and it was just uncomfortable, and it was heartbreaking, and it was sad, and not for me why you'd think it would be. It was so much more clever. It was so brilliant. Honestly, I felt like it was an art piece, as all movies should be, but it made me feel, it made me question, it made me realise even where I've gone wrong in the past. I thought the acting was incredible by everyone. I thought the storyline had its loopholes, but it's a horror film. It was a horror film. At the end of the day, it was a horror film. And not all horror films, you know, I don't think I've ever found an airtight plot hole, airtight plot in a horror film in the past. So, you know, I'm going to accept that this one has plot holes too. And if you're going to dissect it and question it, then yeah, there are going to be things missing and stuff like that. But overall, I thought it was genius. I thought it was incredible. And whether there were plot holes or not, That's not what you're thinking about at the end of the film. You're thinking about, I've just sat in my seat in a cinema surrounded by people and felt scared and uncomfortable and unsure. And if someone can make you do that in a busy public location, how good are you as an actor? How good of you as a director? And how good of you as a writer must you be to be able to do that and pull it off? Like, bravo, bravo. I'm very well aware that this video makes very little sense, but I read so much into this film that what I took from it was at least a good message and lesson for me. Whether that was actually the intent or not, and I've just read something that wasn't even there, I learned a lot from it and I thoroughly enjoyed it, thought it was amazing. But what did you think? If you've seen it, please comment below. Do you agree with my theory? Do you not agree with my theory? Do you just think it was a horror film that was including race and it just had a lot of different elements in it? But either way, I'd love to hear your opinions on this. I'd love to hear anything on this. I just loved the film and I thought it was fantastic. I can't remember the last horror film like that, which I was just like, whoa. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below if you liked this video and my absolute insane, ridiculous rambling. Please give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!